Hello, welcome back. So this is now we're going to just kind of zoom in on North America. Again, to talk about the whole geologic activity of the whole Earth, it's a bit much, right? So let's now just zoom in for pretty much the rest of this lecture series for Unit 9 on the Paleozoic evolution of North America. So again, when we're talking about North America, we're talking about Laurentia. So we're starting in the Cambrian, moving through the area. So what we're going to look at in general, again, we see oceans covering Laurentia, they're transgressing and then going away, regressing. We're starting to see. All right. So instead of, again, as mentioned, looking at a global view of geologic history during this time, we'll focus just in on North America and what was going on here. So just a little refresher. Remember, North America, as it is now, was part of Laurentia. So just keep an eye on Laurentia. So starting off in the late Cambrian, the beginning of the Paleozoic era, here's Laurentia. And then as we go through time, we get transgressive events where oceans were covering the land. We get a mountain building activity along these mobile belts occurring that we can see continuing on here. Waters regressing, leaving, additional mobile belt mountain activity, more water coming in, water leaving again, more tectonic activity leading to these mobile belts and mountainous regions as we finally end the Paleozoic era in the creation of the supercontinent Pangaea or Pangaea. So in any case, the Paleozoic evolution of North America can be divided up into kind of two parts. The transgressive and regressive events that occurred, that's one, and then all these mountain building mobile belts that were added to the margins of North America. So we'll kind of talk about both. All right, we'll talk about transgressive, regressive events, these what are called sequences, and these additions of mobile belts where mountain building has occurred. So back in 1963, not all that long ago, geologist Lawrence Sloss proposed that the sedimentary rock record of North America could be divided into 6 cratonic sequences. Excuse me. So what we'll look at in the Paleozoic is actually 4 of these sequences. And what a sequence is, it's the transgressive regressive cycle. So as the ocean comes in and goes out, that's one sequence. Goes in and out, 2. In and out, 3. In and out, 4. So there's been 6 of the kind of major ones over North America, but during the Paleozoic there's 4. So we'll talk about 4 in this unit. And these transgressive events, again, caused by sea level change, tectonic activity, glaciation, those sorts of things. So we can look at a chart, and I'll explain this chart. It can be a little confusing at first. So this is a Sloss sequence diagram. So over here we have the geologic period, starting with the Cambrian into the Ordovician, Silurian, Devonian, Mississippian, Pennsylvanian, and Permian. And so all of this is the Paleozoic era. So what we're going to focus on really is kind of just this down here. All right. Now, on this side we have mountain building events in the Cordilleran, which is mountain building events that occurred in the west, and we'll talk about that. On this side, we have Appalachian mountain building episodes, and that's what the mountain range that occurred towards the east of North America, the east of Laurentia occurred, and that happened over a series of episodes here. And then what you're looking at in the middle here these are the 6 different sedimentary sequences, these transgressive, regressive events that covered North America, covered Laurentia in sediment. So I'm trying to think. The best way to think about it is this. Let me go back to here. So at the end of the Permian, here's the best way that I kind of look at it. So if we're looking west to east across North America, just right along this line, this western portion of Laurentia would be covered in water. The brown would be dry land, and the other part, then the white part is water. So a little bit of the eastern edge of Laurentia was covered in water. a little bit more of the western edge of Laurentia was covered in water, and this part, this part of the craton was exposed. Whether it's talking about shield and platform, the entire craton. So, for instance, if we're looking here between the Cambrian and the Ordovician, if I just imagine a line right here, all in this white part, what that means is west to east through Laurentia, through North America, it was all covered in water. All right. So the white kind of represents water. As the white kind of comes in towards the center, that's a transgressive, oceans coming in. As the white kind of goes back down, that's regression, transgression, regression, transgression, regression, transgression, regression. And the four sequences will focus on these transgressive, regressive cycles for the Paleozoic era are here. The Sauk, Tippecanoe, Kaskaskia, and the Absaroka sequences. And we'll kind of touch on these other Appalachian mountain building episodes and a little bit of the Cordilleran mountain building episodes. So let's kind of take a look at this and how this plays out. All right, so imagine, let's look right here. All right, let's look right here. So along this line, let's imagine Laurentia from west to east. Now, this is, remember, Laurentia isn't like how North America is now. Right? It was tilted this way. Right? So west to east is kind of this way. If this is North America, we have Canada here, the United States here, Mexico here, right? Now east to west is this way, right? But, all right, Laurentia was tilted kind of like this. So east to west is a little bit different. East to west is now a little bit different for North America. So instead of like that. So instead of east to west like here, right, east to west is like this. So now when you're looking at the map to the right, that's why this line kind of goes kind of up and down, because east to west is this way, right? Because we should be looking at it a little bit tilted. So anyway, so at the beginning of the Cambrian, so we have a little bit of water on the western edge. Okay, yep, there's a little water there. All right, mostly continental crust all the way through. Mostly continental crust all the way through. Okay, and then a little bit of water on the eastern edge. A little bit of water there. All right, so that's kind of how you look at it. So that's kind of let me go back. That's kind of the beginning of the Sauk sequence, and then at its height, all right, in through here we can see. So from west to east in Laurentia, it's going to be mostly water. Mostly water, little bit maybe of continent here, little bit of continent, and then more water over here, more water over there. So that's kind of how we read this, right? So at the end of this Sauk with the regressive event, again, a little bit of water, mostly continent, little bit of water. Let's see, a little bit of water, mostly exposed continent, little bit of water, right? Notice that the east to west line is changing because, again, Laurentia is kind of rotating counterclockwise. You can see here's the equator, so I can easily base east to west on this line. So at the height of the Tippecanoe sequence, so we have water coming in, so this is at the height of the transgressive event. Mostly water, a little bit of land, water, mostly water, maybe a little bit of land, water. Again, these aren't perfect matches here because, again, this is all interpretive. And then, let's see, now that we're in the Kaskaskia, water, land, water, little water, land, maybe some water over there. Again here, a lot of water, little land, a lot of water, a lot of water, little land, a lot of water. So in any case, that's how you kind of read these along these lines, all right, along these lines. So it can be kind of confusing, and then you also have to remember that Laurentia is tilting, so where east to west is varies. Because of plate tectonics. Thank you, plate tectonics. So that's how you would kind of read these things. All right. So let's go ahead and pause here. All right. So we'll go through, as mentioned, from the Cambrian to the Permian, which makes up the Paleozoic era. We're going to go through the Sauk, Tippecanoe, Kaskaskia, Absaroka, and also some Cordilleran and Appalachian mountain building episodes to kind of build these mobile belts. In fact, let me go back to that. For instance, so let's look over here. This is where the Appalachian Mountains are going to form. This is where they currently are. And so we haven't yet got to the tectonic mountain building episodes of the Appalachian Mountains. But that's this thing here, kind of this kind of island arc kind of, kind of creeping its way in. And, and as it does, we get at the beginning of the tectonic mountain building episode. So we're starting to get things kind of folded up here. We're starting to get things going here. And then by the end of the tectonic mountain building episode, we can see some exposed mountain range that are the beginnings of the Appalachian Mountains. There'll be a few more additions here. For instance, let's see. So here's the beginning of the Acadian, and here's the end of it. So we got more stuff coming on. You see this big mountain building event. That's because all of this stuff is going to crash into Laurentia. There it is, further making this Appalachian mountain belt even more prominent. So in any case, that's how we'll talk about these sequences. We'll talk about some of these mountain building events, all to kind of recreate the history of North America. Again, geology is going on elsewhere in the world. Let's just focus on North America. So when we come back, the first of these events that we'll talk about is going to be the Sauk sequence. See you back here in just a second.